Well, well. I was correct in my summation then. This is where the printing press created by the master counterfeiter Prescott was hidden.
There must be 2,000 counterfeit notes here. If all these had entered circulation, the Bank of England would have been severely undermined.
Now we only have to wait and catch the bird returning to its nest.
You think this man, Prescott, will return here?
No. He was killed. It is his murderer I need to catch. James Winter, alias Killer Evans, known to have shot 3 men in the States.
Well, if our Wild West friend tries to live up to his nickname, I will be ready for him. I have my revolver.
Good old Watson. Stay where you are, Mr. Evans, if you value your life. You have a gun trained on you, and Scotland Yard will be with us in a few moments. I would advise surrender.
Well, well. I guess you've been one too many for me, Mr. Holmes. Saw through my game, I suppose, and played me for a sucker from the first. Well, sir, I hand it to you. You have me beat, and...
Watson! You're not hurt, Watson. For God's sake, say that you are not hurt.
It's nothing, Holmes. It's merely a scratch. Examine for yourself. It's just a flesh wound on my thigh.
You're right. It is quite superficial.
Is Killer Evans...
Yes. A clear case of self-defense on your part, dear fellow. Perhaps it is just as well that it should end this way. If he had killed you, I would not have let him get out of this room alive.
Holmes, I do wish you would stop that.
Stop what, precisely?
Ruminating over my injury. You said yourself that it is a flesh wound, quite superficial. I will be back on my feet again in no time. You must stop worrying.
I was doing no such thing. I was considering an entirely different matter.
I may not be a master of observation, but I have known you long enough to think otherwise, my dear fellow.
There must be some way for me to help Watson. Making a close observation of him would be a good place to start. My intimate companion and biographer, Dr. John H. Watson. Shall we see what can be observed about him? I should visit my brain attic afterwards to see what deductions can be made based on my findings. His look of concentration is occasionally interrupted by him wetting his lips and clearing his throat slightly. I have just observed something important. I should enter my brain attic later in order to see if I can make any deductions. It is a yellowback novel entitled The Lady Detective Makes It Right. There's a picture of a young lady examining a footprint on the front, an advertisement extolling the virtues of cocoa on the back. He was shot in the left thigh. The evidence is mostly gone. His blood-stained trousers have been burned. The bandage is not visible under his clothes. I can tell from the way he sits that it's still causing him some discomfort. He's had quite enough gunshot wounds for one lifetime.
Holmes, you are brooding again. I am touched that you are so affected, deeply touched. But I hate to see you keep berating yourself.
You're quite certain you need nothing from me?
I value your companionship. But beyond that, no special measures are needed.
Welcome to my brain attic. I like to think of my mind as space full of well-chosen materials, information which I can draw on in order to complete my work. I keep a record here of people who are significant to me, represented by portraits on the walls. The blackboard is very important. I use it to combine observations I've made in order to make deductions. Metaphorically, of course. He should not be here by rights. This is a place of facts, of logic. He is a distracting factor, grit in a sensitive instrument. Yet I find I want him here all the same. My brother Mycroft. He is my superior in observation and deduction, although he does not have the energy or ambition to be a detective. Instead, he uses his capacity of storing facts in aid of the government. Indeed, it could be said that occasionally he is the British government. I've been meaning to get rid of that. It clutters up the place. A single silk embroidered slipper in an oriental style. I lost its partner many years ago. Since then, it has been used as a receptacle for tobacco. It is my practice to keep my unread correspondence firmly secured to the mantelpiece with a jackknife. I find it to be an efficient filing method, but not one generally advocated. A memento of one of my early cases. It is a photograph of the late opera singer Irene Norton, née Adler, the woman who was able to utterly evade my traps. I am always rather pleased that she did. A print of Turner's The Great Fall of the Reichenbach. It has been there since Watson and I moved here, but has taken on additional meaning in the course of our adventures. We could go back to Switzerland, you know, for a holiday. I imagine it is rather nice if one is not fleeing for one's life.
That may be. However, I would prefer not to.
I may be able to pick up the earpiece, I suppose. I can use the telephone to call my brother Mycroft. He often has valuable ideas about how to proceed in any given situation. Hello, operator. The Diogenes Club, London, if you please. Yes, I'll hold.
My dear Sherlock, how can I be of assistance?
Watson has been shot.
Superficially, I assume, or you would not be calling me quite so calmly.
Yes, a graze.
Send him my warm regards. Oh, speaking of the good doctor, have you told him of your plans yet? It seems to me that it would be a sensible idea not to delay too long.
Perhaps you can give me some advice.
Certainly. What is the conundrum of the moment?
Have I ever told you about my brain attic?
Yes, brother dear, but explain again if you wish.
It is only a metaphor, of course. It is an imaginary place where I store all of my facts and knowledge. In particular, I like to imagine a blackboard where I collect observations and thoughts. When I have collected several ideas there, I can combine them to make deductions. Making deductions often allows me to proceed in my cases, although I use similar methods in all aspects of my life, including deciding how best to help an injured friend, it seems. I have nothing else to ask you. How are you, Mycroft?
Very well, thank you.
Those young whippets in Whitehall haven't been causing you too much bother?
Dear me, no.
Goodbye, Mycroft.
Goodbye, little brother. Do call again.
This is Watson's gasogene. It is quite a clever device. The lower chamber contains water. The upper contains tartaric acid and sodium bicarbonate. The two chemicals react, producing carbon dioxide and carbonating the water. For some reason, he prefers to drink his water fizzing with bubbles. There are usually some glasses here, but they are absent. I will have to improvise. Well, what have we here? Some pink pansies have been delivered to our door. There's a handwritten card on rather fine cardstock. The penmanship is decidedly female. However, it has a certain lax form which I associate with those in the medical field. Dear John, wishing you a swift recovery. With warmest regards, Rebecca. Dear John, dear John. How presumptive. The remains of Watson's dinner. From the colour of the sauce and a distinct smell, I think that this once held a portion of Mrs. Hudson's quite delightful curried lamb, a delicious dish, which has sometimes even induced me to overindulge. However, it is quite spicy and salty. I have just observed something important. I should enter my brain attic later in order to see if I can make any deductions. Watson has eaten the curry, and now he is clearing his throat often and licking his lips. I conclude that he is rather thirsty. Hardly my most illuminating deduction, I grant you. However, the mechanism remains the same when I'm solving much more complex problems. I should find him something to drink. I could ring for Mrs. Hudson, but Watson would find it more charming if I were to find him something to drink myself. A newly washed glass beaker. Aha, yes, I shall take the beaker. There, I now have a beaker full of carbonated water. Here you are, my dear fellow. You seem to be thirsty after your curried lamb. Apologies for the container. Mrs. Hudson seems to have purloined all our glasses. It is clean, I assure you.
Thank you, Holmes. You are right. I am thirstier than I realized. I will trust that you have avoided cross-contamination when it comes to your scientific equipment, and that this is not an attempt to poison me.
Well, I've done that for him at least. Perhaps I should stop delaying. There's something important I need to speak to him about. Have you written any stories lately?
I've had some attempts at jotting down some historical fiction, but I'm struggling to find a home for them. I may make an attempt at writing up more of your cases. The affair of the dancing men would be popular, don't you think?
It certainly had a touch of the sensational about it. Have you ever considered getting a dog, Watson?
Sometimes. I am fond of dogs. They require considerable care, however.
Indeed. Yet they are loyal beasts with excellent noses. You remember old Toby, kept by Mr. Sherman? If we had a little more space, and I thought Mrs. Hudson would allow it, I may have thought to buy him and have him here with us. But now both man and dog are long dead. Oh hum. Such is the way of things. Did you enjoy your curried lamb?
Yes, very much. Mrs. Hudson may still have some available if you are hungry. You must eat, Holmes. The case is over.
Again, I will say. Wait a moment. The thing I wish to say to Watson is quite significant. Am I ready to take this step? Watson, we must discuss something important. Earlier, you presumed that I was berating myself for allowing you to come to harm. While my thoughts have turned that way often, ever since you were injured, it was not what I was thinking in that moment. Rather, I was trying to decide how to share some important news with you. I have decided to retire.
Retire?
Yes, to sequester myself away on the farm of my dreams. I have a notion to take up beekeeping.
Give up your detective work? Surely not. You are simply upset because I was hurt. In a week or two...
No, I'm quite certain. In fact, I purchased a cottage and some land in Sussex several months ago. I do not crave the thrill of detection as I once did. It is a task for a young man, and I am no longer young. It is time to move on.
But what am I to do?
Whatever you like, Watson. I'm not your keeper. It is rather a large cottage.
Holmes, you know that I will never tire of your company. A countryside retirement sounds idyllic. Yet, this is very sudden. I am not certain I am ready for that kind of seclusion. I still have a few decades' worth of a perfectly respectable medical career ahead of me, and people here who rely on me.
Once I fail to supply the curious adventures which thrill you and provide you with material for your sordid magazine stories, you lose interest in me. Is that it?
Of course not. You know that is not true.
Or perhaps you've set your sights on marrying the sensible and pretty matron who brings you flowers and writes you sweet nothings. If you propose, I'm certain she will agree. She has not been subtle about her intentions.
Holmes, you are being childish.
Yes, I suppose I am.
Of course, I will come with you if you need me. If you ask me to join you, I will.
No, I cannot ask that of you. You are loyal and true to a fault, my dear, dear Watson. And I'm certain that you would give up your passions to join me in mine. If you did, a seed of resentment would be sown which might drive us apart in the end. I could not endure that.
It seems that we are being drawn along different paths then.
Yes,
Strange, isn't it?
yes. Very strange.
They were wonderful years, weren't they? I loved every moment.
Watson, they were glorious. We were glorious.
You won't vanish on me, will you, Holmes? You won't simply disappear without telling me you are going. I could not bear that.
No, I think I have a little more sense these days than to engage in those kinds of theatrics. Should you need me, Watson, you will find me in Sussex, keeping bees and reading philosophy, and you will always be very, very welcome. Watson, are you going to loiter on my doorstep all morning?
Good afternoon, Holmes. My word, you look well. I don't think I've ever seen you with so much flesh on your bones and colour in your cheeks.
I remain as wiry as ever under the knitwear, I assure you.
I must apologize for turning up out of the blue like this. I know I should have written to you ahead of time. My ship came in this morning and I found myself unceremoniously deposited back in England. I couldn't face the hubbub of London. I really am dog-tired. And you do have rather a good track record of perking me up when I'm back from a war. So I thought, I hoped, if it is at all inconvenient, then you must tell me. I am certain I can find alternative accommodation.
Watson, kindly stop talking nonsense. Come inside, get out of that uniform, and make yourself at home. You must stay for as long as you like, my dear, dear Watson. Watson is by my side again. I must ensure that he's able to rest and recuperate, and find a way to tell him, well, many things. But how? A picnic, perhaps, on the cliff tops. You would like that. The perfect moment of peace and tranquility after the bloodshed he has seen, all the lives he has saved and not managed to save. I will ask my housekeeper for suggestions for what I will need. She can generally be found in the kitchen. It is perfectly fine where it is. Her hair grew very thin many years ago, so now she crops it short and wears a wig. I've never known a woman with such a passion for tobacco. We can talk for hours about it. A strange idiosyncrasy of my battle axe of a housekeeper is that she is very fond of flowers. She often wears them about her person. Martha, I'm planning a surprise picnic for Watson. What key components would you suggest are required?
A surprise picnic, eh? This isn't secretly some scheme, is it?
Scheme?
You're not setting this up in order to capture a gang of counterfeiters or such like?
No, I am setting this up in order to enjoy a picnic.
Oh, well, it was worth checking. I would have thought the location is very important. A quiet spot with a beautiful view, perhaps. You will need a hamper of food, naturally. I recall from his previous visits that the doctor is very partial to Mrs. Kumar's elderflower cordial. I imagine he would appreciate a bottle.
A hamper of picnic food, a bottle of elderflower cordial, and a quiet spot to enjoy both. I think that can be arranged. Thank you. How are you, Martha?
Very well, thank you, sir. Although I am quite busy at the moment. Sometimes it feels like this house is lived in by a couple of elephants, not two distinguished gentlemen.
Can you make a hamper of food for me?
Certainly. When do you need it by?
Lunchtime today.
Mr. Holmes, I do not have time to drop everything, go to the shops, acquire additional food, and make you a picnic in time for lunch. Perhaps you could postpone your plans a few days.
No, Martha, no. It is vital, it is paramount that I will arrange the picnic hamper myself. Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir. You will keep out of mischief, won't you?
Hodge, who I think I must begrudgingly consider to be my cat. Or else I am her human. Well, she turned up one day and has not left me, at least. May I take this, Martha? I may need it to exhume a body.
Of course, Mr. Holmes. It doesn't belong in my nice, clean kitchen in the first place. Did you say exhume a body?
Goodbye, Martha. And how are you today, Puss? Your studies of the local rodentia are proceeding well? It is perfectly fine where it is. Her hair grew very thin many years ago, so now she crops it short and wears a wig. I've never known a woman with such a passion for tobacco. We can talk for hours about it. A strange idiosyncrasy of my battle axe of a housekeeper is that she is very fond of flowers. She often wears them about her person. Martha, I'm planning a surprise picnic for Watson. What key components would you suggest are required?
A surprise picnic, eh? This isn't secretly some scheme, is it?
Scheme?
You're not setting this up in order to capture a gang of counterfeiters or such like?
No, I am setting this up in order to enjoy a picnic.
Oh, well, it was worth checking. I would have thought the location is very important. A quiet spot with a beautiful view, perhaps. You will need a hamper of food, naturally. I recall from his previous visits that the doctor is very partial to Mrs. Kumar's elderflower cordial. I imagine he would appreciate a bottle.
A hamper of picnic food, a bottle of elderflower cordial, and a quiet spot to enjoy both. I think that can be arranged. Thank you. How are you, Martha?
Very well, thank you, sir. Although I am quite busy at the moment. Sometimes it feels like this house is lived in by a couple of elephants, not two distinguished gentlemen.
Can you make a hamper of food for me?
Certainly. When do you need it by?
Lunchtime today.
Mr. Holmes, I do not have time to drop everything, go to the shops, acquire additional food, and make you a picnic in time for lunch. Perhaps you could postpone your plans a few days.
No, Martha, no. It is vital, it is paramount that I will arrange the picnic hamper myself. Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir. You will keep out of mischief, won't you?
Hodge, who I think I must begrudgingly consider to be my cat. Or else I am her human. Well, she turned up one day and has not left me, at least. May I take this, Martha? I may need it to exhume a body.
Of course, Mr. Holmes. It doesn't belong in my nice, clean kitchen in the first place. Did you say exhume a body?
Goodbye, Martha. And how are you today, Puss? Your studies of the local rodentia are proceeding well? Hello, operator. The Diogenes Club, London, if you please. Yes, I'll hold.
My dear Sherlock, how can I be of assistance?
How are you, Mycroft? And how is London?
Oh, I'm well, and so is London. I find that retirement suits me.
You are keeping yourself occupied.
Certainly. I breakfast and read my book from 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock. From 10 until 1 o'clock, I take in the view from my window.
For 3 whole hours, Mycroft. You do not find that dull?
To anyone who wishes to study mankind, that is the spot. I see the whole gamut of society through that window. Then I dine at the Ivy, before heading to the Diogenes from 2:15 until 8:15.
I see. A punishing schedule.
And what are you doing with your dotage, little brother?
I am devising a small treat for Watson. A picnic.
Outside?
That is generally the location where one picnics.
Each to their own, I suppose. Personally, I shall be dining at a table.
I would like to ask your advice.
How can I help?
I have nothing to ask advice about at present.
No? Oh, that is a pity.
Goodbye, brother.
Goodbye, Sherlock. Do call again.
Perhaps when it is dark. A Staffordshire pottery dog. Watson bought it from the village fete. I detest it. I would prefer it remains where it is. I keep little cloths in there for cleaning my spectacles, honestly. A print of Turner's The Great Fall of the Reichenbach. Watson accuses me of morbidity for keeping it here. I feel it does a man no harm to look at his own death once in a while. My Stradivarius, purchased at a pawnbroker's in Tottenham Court Road for 55 shillings. A device for playing sound recorded on a disc made of shellac, although acoustically it is a Platonian shadow of true music. I must say that I enjoy putting on a record in the evenings and enjoying a concert in the comfort of my own home.
Be my little baby bumblebee. Buzz around, keep a buzzing round. Bring home all the honey, love to me. Little bee, little.
Dr. Johnson once noted that time, with all its hilarity, moves slowly to him whose sole employment is to watch its flight. One does not need to worry about time racing forwards with this particular clock. I removed the pendulum after finding the noise irritating. If you hear any ticking, it is coming from the clock behind you on the opposite wall.
We'll be just as happy as can be.
Dr. John H. Watson, my stalwart biographer, intimate friend, and erstwhile partner in the art of detection. There are crumbs on his moustache. Toast, I believe. But clearly he has been writing this morning. He has ink stains on his hands. Also, I observed him doing it. He is wearing his sturdiest boots, the ones he usually reserves for muddy walks. Noble hound, the finest canine in all England with the best nose. Toby, third of that name.
Gosh! I say, that's a little rich. All true, of course. Would the great Sherlock Holmes accept anything less in his loyal hound? Hello, Master.
Oh, you're a good boy.
Woof, woof. Well, naturally. And I think you're a good human, Master. Especially when you give me bones. It's a pity that for all your intelligence, you can't understand me.
Ah, Toby, if only you could speak.
Oh, don't worry, Master. You have that nice doctor fellow to talk to now, so you don't need to be lonely. I don't need conversation. I'm content with pats and belly rubs.
That's enough talk for now, doggy.
Very well, Master.
My extractor, designed to drain honey from a beehive frame. A stainless steel cylinder attached to some bellows. They are buzzing around in fine form. If I want to open the hive, I should subdue them first. I feel the need to remind you that I am retired. I am a beekeeper. Grotesque happenings are not my personal concern. As an ordinary citizen, I should leave investigative matters to the police. Let's have a look, shall we? Sanjay Kumar, a young man of around 12 who lives in the village. We have not talked much, but I found him watching me while I tend to my bees. At a distance, with binoculars. The knife has been sawn off at the end and blunted so that it may appear to be thrust into the boy's chest. This is a very old trick. Mycroft played it on me once. As for the blood, it is bright red paint. A familiar shade of red buckram, and I see the top of the first line of the title, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Dr. John H. Watson, I believe. He is very obviously breathing, quite heavily in fact. A style of hat which is a good 40 years out of fashion. Strange thing for a young boy to wear, especially in such warm weather. My neighbour, Mrs. Kumar, came to live in Fulworth in 1915. She is a widow. I believe her husband served in the Indian Expeditionary Force under the command of General Sir James Wilcox. Like so many other women in the wake of that terrible slaughter, she has built up a livelihood to support herself and her young son. She has a shop selling quality cloth and haberdashery. Butter would not melt in the mouths of the ladies of Fulworth when they buy fabric from her, but behind her back they gossip cruelly. On my arrival in Fulworth, I engaged Martha as a housekeeper. I had expected a dull old lady, not a patch on the dear Mrs. Hudson, who ran my household for so many years. Instead, I was delighted to find that Martha is quite the eccentric. She smokes a pipe, speaks like a sailor when inclined to do so, and is therefore very capable of keeping me in line. Despite her being under my employ, I think of her as a friend. She helped me in some of my espionage work during the war. I greatly enjoy sparring with her. He took his degree in medicine in 1878 before studying further to become a surgeon with the army. Just as the Second Afghan War broke out, that led him inexorably to the fatal Battle of Maiwand. He nearly died there of a bullet wound, or else of the enteric fever which followed. Returning to London to convalesce and living on a pittance of an army pension, he required someone to share the cost of lodgings. A mutual friend introduced him to a self-destructive young fellow who was trying to make his name as a consulting detective. I dare say we saved one another in a way, and from that moment our lives were bound up together. Sometimes we were parted. The obligation of married life called to him, or my vocation called to me. But thankfully, we always seemed to wind up thrown together again. In the war, I engaged in covert work. while he returned to his roots as an army doctor. It was only in that long silence that I wondered if I would never hear from him again. Yet England is at peace, and he is with me again. My elder brother Mycroft is 7 years my senior. Our difference in age meant that we did not spend a great deal of time together as children. He was off at school, while I was still learning the rudiments of walking and talking. I still think we recognized in each other a shared mentality. It was he who taught me the deduction game. Indeed, he remains the master at it. Yet for him, it is just a game. While for me it was both art and science, a means to a livelihood. Mycroft remains the only one with whom I can discuss my thoughts at full luminance, without keeping hold of the shutter. For much of his life he held the British government's secrets in his head. However, now in retirement, he spends most of his time at the club he helped to found, that Diogenes. If I need his help and advice, I'm able to telephone him. Miss Tilda is the niece of my former client, Miss Violet Hunter. Miss Hunter became her guardian following the death of her parents. She is a vivacious young lady with a great passion for learning, particularly in the field of the natural sciences. I first encountered Miss Violet Hunter when she was a young woman, seeking help concerning a governess position which paid well, far too well. In the years since then, her career has flourished. She's been headmistress at a series of schools, each time leaving them better than she found them. I was quite delighted to find that she also has a house here in Fulworth. I have known a great many policemen in my time. Constable Webber does not rank well amongst them. He has a patronizing way of speaking to me, which I do not like. As head of the local Women's Institute, Mrs. Whitlock is the closest thing Fulworth has to a civic leader. She is widowed and does not seem in any hurry to marry again. Mrs. Kumar's young son, Sanjay. He attends the local village school and spends the rest of his time helping his mother or finding a solitary place to read a book. He does not seem to be a popular boy. His closest friend is Tilda, a girl a few years younger than he is. Lately, he seems to have taken quite the interest in me. I do not mean to say that he speaks to me. He simply observes at a distance. I observe him in return. Toby the Third, my loyal sleuth-hound. I had determined not to have another dog after the loss of Toby the Second, but I could not resist that eager little face. I've given up on attempting to get rid of that. It seems I am stuck with it. Apparently, the boy has been inspired by tales of my adventures and has decided to fake his own murder. I wonder what explanation he will give for his actions. A raucous crowd is utterly ruining both the pleasant view and the peaceful atmosphere. They are very light, shallow footprints for the size. The gait is strange, without much weight on the heel. Young man, can you hear me? What are you doing, young man? Well, you are still breathing, very obviously, in fact. You will not talk to me then. You've been inspired by the work of my friend Watson to stage your own murder. Might I ask why?
But have you solved the mystery? Do you know who murdered me?
You have not been murdered.
But if I had been, do you know who did it? I thought you'd look at the footprints.
I have looked at the footprints. You created them yourself by wearing larger shoes than your own and walking backwards. You then threw the shoes off the cliff.
I know, but if I hadn't done that, who would they suggest the murderer was? You were supposed to think it was Harry.
Who is Harry?
Don't you know? He's Harry. He's in the year above me at school.
And you wish to frame him for your murder?
No, not really. I didn't want him to be hanged or anything.
Well, that is gratifying.
It's just he's always mean to me, so I thought I'd get back at him. You weren't fooled at all?
No.
Oh.
It is not kind to pretend to be dead or dying.
But you pretended to be dead in the empty house. Even Dr. Watson didn't know you were actually alive.
Yes, to my shame.
And you pretended to be dying in the adventure of the dying detective. Watson thought you were going to die of a horrible tropical disease.
It seemed necessary at the time.
And you exaggerated your injuries in the illustrious client. When he heard, Watson ran to Baker Street, scared you had died. And you faked having a fainting fit in the Reigate Squires. You'd been ill before that, so Watson thought you'd relapsed. And you faked having a sprained ankle in the Priory School.
I have done many things in my life which I regret, and which you should not try to emulate. Besides, Watson exaggerates sometimes.
You mean it didn't really happen like that?
Watson wrote them as stories for entertainment, not factual accounts.
Oh. Of course. I mean, I knew that. I'm sorry I bothered you, Mr. Holmes.
I have a new hypothesis. That I am a nasty, misanthropic old man who breaks young boys' dreams. I suppose now I shall have to find a way to cheer the lad up. It is the right thing to do, but also that his mother will let me have some elderflower cordial. Our local village bobby, Constable Webber. He is frustrated that he never ascended the ranks and made sergeant. And he had egg for breakfast. What is happening here?
This here young lady is an archaeologist. She's made a tremendous discovery. Some kind of fossilised mermaid. She's drawing in quite a crowd and offering a lecture about the discovery for those who will pay.
You must realise it is a scam.
More than my job's worth, Mr. Holmes. She's not doing anything illegal. I'm just here to keep the peace.
Have you asked the young lady to move?
Unless I find out she's done something illegal, I can't shift her, Mr. Holmes.
I have something to report.
What's that then?
I have nothing else to report. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
A journalist, I believe. The features seemed simian to me, like a monkey. I think that the tail has been created from paper and glue. She is young, I would say around 20, very muscular, perhaps of Italian descent. She has the people enthralled. This stylish young gentleman has a very fastidious valet, with whom he has minor disagreements regarding sartorial matters. This fellow is clearly deeply intelligent. Why he seems to be employed as a valet when he could be running the country is an interesting conundrum. Well, I can only deduce that he must be very fond of his employer. An elegant young couple. Seen them in the village, but do not know their names. I feel it is likely they moved to the seaside for the good of his health. He has been unwell in the last few years. Good morning. Are you enjoying your visit to our little town?
It's lovely. What a wonderful view of the sea. If only I'd come with my husband and not just for work.
I don't suppose you've heard any news from London?
None at all. I've been so busy. Haven't seen a newspaper in days.
Roll up, roll up. See the eighth wonder of the world. A real-life mermaid.
Who are you?
Professor P.B. Ritchie, M.A., Oxon, RSI, award-winning archaeologist and adventurer.
And how did you unearth this mermaid?
Through clever deductive reasoning based on my knowledge of geological processes.
Would you perhaps be able to name for me a geological process?
Photosynthesis.
I thought so. Where do you hold a professorship?
Shrewsbury College, Camford.
You made the mermaid by sewing together a monkey and a fish.
No, I didn't.
Indeed you did.
Didn't.
You did.
Didn't.
It is blatantly obvious you did to anyone with eyes.
No.
You are a scam artist.
No, I'm not.
You are. I can prove that you are. The mermaid is made from multiple animals which have been artificially stitched together and augmented with sugar paste and papier-mâché. It is not even a cunning trick. It is entirely transparent.
Look, mister, people see what they want to see. You can point out to them all day that the mermaid is fake, but they won't accept it. They want to believe my fantasy.
And there lies the folly of humanity which frustrates me the most. There is wonder enough in nature without making up wonders. Each of my beehives is more miraculous than your mermaid by far. Indeed, even a simple rose.
Not going to make me money, though, are they? Roll up! Roll up!
What awards have you won?
Oh, Victoria Cross, Nobel Peace Prize.
You have not. This is all very verifiable information. All I have to do is send a few telegrams.
Send away, my man, send away. I expect by the time you have your answers, I will have moved on with a pocket full of coins.
You refuse to leave the beach.
Not until I have satisfied my public, sir.
Goodbye.
Toodle pip.
I have a feeling I would find him unintelligible. Young people today talk such nonsense. Mrs. Kumar is washing some sheets. If I were to make a close study of them, I might be able to find out all kinds of details about her personal life. But I believe that would be a waste of time, and Watson would chide me for being rude. Nothing I can observe is relevant. It is perfectly fine where it is. Mrs. Kumar is known for making the best elderflower cordial in Sussex. The only ingredients are the heads of elderflowers, sugar, lemon, and honey. I would humbly argue that the honey is the key to her success. She has an excellent supplier. Her hands show that she has worked many menial jobs in the past. However, they are currently well manicured. I'm not an expert in such matters, but I would imagine that such a sumptuous dress is the height of fashion amongst Indian ladies.
Mr. Holmes, my boy is very upset with you.
We had a misunderstanding. I will make it right. I must apologize for upsetting your son.
It is not me you must apologize to, Mr. Holmes.
Where is young Sanjay now?
I don't know. He often goes to the land around the school, on the cliff tops, when he is upset. And he was very upset, Mr. Holmes.
May I have some elderflower cordial?
No.
Mrs. Kumar, I will make amends with your son as soon as I'm able. However, I require some elderflower cordial. It is vital, paramount. My entire scheme will be forfeit without it.
No, not until my son is happy.
Goodbye, Mrs. Kumar. Aha, what's this in here? A large amount of coarse fur or hair. I will take a small sample with me.
Mr. Holmes, why did you take that?
Call it scientific curiosity, Mrs. Kumar. A wide variety of fabrics and other dressmaking materials. Mrs. Kumar runs a haberdashery business. Someone has been gardening. The earth is disturbed all along the front of the house.
What do you want?
I thought I would welcome you to the neighbourhood. This house has been empty many years, and now it is not. I must assume you've recently moved in.
Excuse me, but I'm very busy.
What a delightful fellow. Alas, it is locked, and my days of scaling gates are behind me. It is a wig. I know the signs. Her cheeks are sallow. Her complexion is pale. She has dark skin under her eyes. All these things, however, are the products of well-placed makeup. The nails are well cared for, save that she bites them when she is nervous.
Flowers! Lovely flowers!
Haven't seen you around here before.
No, sir. I'm a humble wanderer. I goes here and there and everywhere. It's a nice place here, sir. So full of kind people. Kind people who buys me flowers.
May I buy a flower?
That you may, sir.
May I buy a flower?
But, sir, you already have one.
Oh, my apologies. A strange shopkeeper who won't sell more of her wares for the asking. What is your name?
My name is Rose. Rose Smith.
Rose Smith, indeed. What an apt name for someone who sells roses. Goodbye. was not part of a costume. Underneath the eye patch and his pancake makeup, I see scar tissue. A military-style moustache, as was mandatory for soldiers at the beginning of the war. Masks began to be worn to protect against gas, so the regulation moustache, part of British warfare for 100 years, was lost. This man fought in the war, and he carries this habitual remnant of that life. However, he was invalided out before the moustaches fell out of shape.
Hello, hello.
You were at the front in the war, I perceive.
Oh? No. Ruffles the clown doesn't know about such things. Oh, I tell you, would you like to see me trip over into a custard tart?
Not particularly. It is unusual for a clown to wear an eye patch.
Clowns wear all kinds of silly things. Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
And who might you be?
Ruffles the clown, at your service. Hong Kong. Sorry for having to say Hong Kong. I used to have a little horn, but I've lost it. So now I just say Hong Kong in a cheerful sort of way. Hong Kong.
I see. I am Mr. Holmes, a beekeeper. Do you need me to find your horn for you?
Oh? No, why the dickens would I want to send a stranger off to find something I've lost? Seems a bit impolite. Besides, I know where it is.
I thought you said you'd lost it.
I lost it in a game of cards in Newcastle.
Ah. Your name is Raffles, like the famous cricketer A.J. Raffles?
No. Ruffles. Like material gathered along one edge to make an ornamental frill.
Oh, I see. I wondered if you were a relative.
A.J. Raffles. Oh, he was a bit of a hero of mine when I was a lad.
Our vocations meant that we moved in the same circles. How goes your clown?
Very well, thank you, sir.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir.
She looks like an interesting young lady.
Hello, mister. Do you like my hair ribbons? I think they're really special.
Indeed. They are very charming. A long-time resident of the village. I believe he's some kind of writer, although I observe some signs that he spent time in prison in his youth. One of my neighbours, a dapper gentleman in his 40s. A gentleman who is fond of cats and enjoys attending concerts. I believe he lives in the village. I'd better not. He always gets very anxious when I try to speak to him.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. You know, I've been reading the stories about you ever since I was a child. I enjoy them just as much today as I did back then.
Oh, that is very gratifying. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes.
Good morning.
Lovely weather, isn't it? I was worried we might have rain.
A coconut shy. Hitting one of the coconuts with a ball permits you to keep it. I'm afraid my eyesight is very poor these days. Mrs. Fanny Whitlock, head of the local Women's Institute. She is absorbed in managing the village fete competition.
So good to see our local celebrity here in the village.
What are the categories for entry to the competition?
Largest vegetable in the category of potatoes, beetroots, carrots and rhubarb. Best rose, best flowering potted plant, best cake, including a separate subcategory for Victoria sponges, best jam or fruit preserve, and best honey.
I see that.
Only fresh, homegrown produce are allowed. Beetroots and carrots should have foliage trimmed back to 3 inches, peas and beans to be displayed with stalks still attached. Victoria sponges dusted with icing sugar will be disqualified.
Thank you. What is the prize?
Each winner will receive a quite delightful picnic hamper filled with fresh produce.
A picnic hamper, you say? Who's the judge?
Now, that is exciting. The famous mystery novelist, Miss Drusilla Duffy. She is the author of those books with that Liechtenstein detective, Mr. Caspar Hassler. Have you read them? I just love it when he gathers all the suspects together and pronounces who the murderer is, don't you?
No.
I'm sure you two will get on famously. Sherlock Holmes and Drusilla Duffy, brought together at our humble village fete. You can talk about grisly murders together. What fun!
How do I enter?
Simply give me any items you wish to exhibit. I will display them here, and the judge will be around later today to award prizes.
Remind me, what are the categories for entering the fete?
Largest vegetable in the category of potatoes, beetroots, carrots and rhubarb. Best rose, best flowering potted plant, best cake, including a separate subcategory for Victoria sponges, best jam or fruit preserve, and best honey.
Goodbye, Mrs. Whitlock.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
Nothing I can observe is relevant. A well-loved old bear with traces of honey on his paws. Well, most of the rest of him, in fact. Some pupating caterpillars and newly emerged butterflies. She is a handsome middle-aged woman whose round, freckled face retains the brightness of youth. Her eyes speak of a quiet, understated intelligence. She wears a slightly severe pinstripe jacket and skirt. Miss Hunter? How are you, Miss Hunter?
I'm well, Mr. Holmes. Catching up on all the little jobs which I'm not able to undertake during term time.
The new school in Chichester is proving to be all-absorbing, then.
Rather. I'm afraid the last head did not run a tight ship. I've no wonder they had to call me in. The girls are all little monsters, and the mistresses not much better.
Sounds ghastly.
Oh, don't mistake me. I'm rather enjoying the challenge. For the next 4 weeks, however, I will relish spending time by myself.
What are you sewing?
A new walking dress. What do you think of the colour? I was always told that redheads should not wear red, and so I try to do so as often as possible.
I am no expert in ladies' fashion, but it is very cheerful. You would not rather have a seamstress make it for you?
Oh, no. I enjoy making clothes. I find it relaxing. In fact, you should let me make you something. All I would ask is that you bring me the material you want to use. As a spinster, I don't get the opportunity to make men's clothing. I did try once, for a neighbour. Unfortunately, he misunderstood my offer for, well, a romantic overture. Poor fellow. I had to let him down gently.
You know that Watson was quite convinced that I was holding a candle for you when we first met.
No. Surely not. How funny.
Miss Tilda has been helping me with the bees.
I know. She reports back to me all their antics. Thank you so much for how good you are with her, Mr. Holmes. It means a lot to a child when an adult takes them seriously, I think.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
A soldier, an officer, in fact. The uniform looks very new. You'd not seen any action when this photograph was taken. Everything from the style of his moustache to his neatly trimmed nails suggests to me that he did not work a manual job in civilian life. So many promising young men shared his fate. It all felt quite distant to me. I was ensconced in undercover work, so I did not see the fighting. Watson, however, an army medic. The terrible thing is that I know Watson would have traded his life in an instant for any one of those young men. A bright, cheery face. Her complexion suggests she enjoyed spending time outside, as her daughter does. I gather she did not share her sister's intelligence, but she was a hard worker. She had likely never had a serious illness her whole life before the Spanish flu which took her life. I wonder how old she is here. 3 or 4? I did not meet her until she was 5, when she came to live with Violet after she was orphaned. I wonder how old she is here. Some pupating caterpillars and newly emerged butterflies. Coarse dark hair from some unknown mammal. It smells of something chemical. It is a lovely rose. Our highest assurance of the goodness of Providence seems to me to rest in the flowers. All other things, our powers, our desires, our food, are all really necessary for our existence in the first instance. But this rose is an extra. Its smell and its colour, an embellishment of life, not a condition of it. Actually, perhaps I'd better get on with the matter at hand. On further reflection, I should put these on closer to the hives. They're not comfortable to walk around in. I'll take them off now. Miss Tilda, my young neighbour. The dirt under the fingernails suggests she has been digging. There are no calluses of the kind I would associate with daily piano practice. Her flower crown is made from the yellow yarrow which grows to the north of my cottage. The stains on her dress are characteristic of the meadow to the north of my cottage. Her hair is untied and unbrushed. Well, he has cleaned the paint from his pullover, but not very effectively. I wanted to apologize to you, Sanjay. You put a great deal of thought and effort into staging your murder on the cliff tops for my benefit, and I was not appreciative.
Oh, that's all right, Mr. Holmes. I'm not upset anymore.
You're not?
No. See, I thought about it, and it's just like what you said to Watson in The Adventure of the Solitary Cyclist.
If it makes you feel better, then yes, exactly like that situation.
Mr. Holmes, do you actually remember the case I mean?
Not precisely. I was involved in a considerable number of them, you know. You were very perceptive to pick up on my bluff.
In The Adventure of the Solitary Cyclist, you sent Watson off to do some investigating on his own. And when he got back, he was hoping you'd congratulate him on doing so well. But instead, you said he'd done remarkably badly, and he was sad.
Oh, I did that.
Yes, but you didn't mean to upset him. You tried to make it up to him afterwards. And now you're doing that to me. It's very exciting. The other reason I'm excited is that I've got a proper case to solve now, not a made-up one.
Tell me about this real mystery you've discovered.
My cat has been catnapped.
Not Kalu! She's my favourite member of the species Felis catus.
She's missing.
No, stolen.
Why do you think the cat was stolen?
Well, you know that old house next to us? It has been empty for years. But last week, a strange man started living there. My mum tried to bring him a pie as a welcome to the village, but he was really cold and rude to her. Then, he came around yesterday, acting really polite, asking if he could buy our cat. When Mum said no, that she is our special pet, he got really mean and angry again. I think he stole Kalu as revenge.
Cats sometimes wander off on their own, you know. She may come back by herself.
No, Mr. Holmes, not Kalu. She always stays near the house.
Can you describe the cat?
Her name is Kalu. She's small and white.
She's also really soft and her toes are pink. Don't forget that.
She's the best mouser in the world. 2 days ago, she dragged a giant dead rat into our house. Absolutely enormous. As big as she is. Mum had to bury it in front of the house.
Did she indeed? Interesting. I will help you find your cat.
Really? Does that mean... am I your client?
I suppose so.
I am Sherlock Holmes's client.
Don't shout, Sanjay. You'll scare away my newts.
Goodbye, Sanjay.
Goodbye, sir.
Use it how precisely? I refuse. That would disturb the bees. It is reckless to open the hive without ensuring the bees are calm first. It has been known for time out of mind that bees are calmed by smoke. The precise mechanism is a matter of hot debate in apian circles. I am of the opinion that bees communicate danger by releasing subtle smells to one another, which the smoke interrupts. I wrote a short monograph on the subject, if you're interested. It only takes a light touch. I do not want them to be stressed. There is a full tray of excess honey here. I will take it with me.
Hello, Master.
Follow me, Toby.
Of course, Master. Will there be interesting things to smell? Cats to woof at?
The honey is now in the extractor. I will take the empty tray with me. There is honey inside the extractor which I could drain into a suitable container. Watson, wake up. How are you feeling, Watson?
Very well, thank you.
Your old war wound is not bothering you?
No. I think this warm weather is good for it. What about you, Holmes? Your arthritis?
Arthritis? Are you entirely sure I have arthritis?
Yes, I am. I am sorry, Holmes. I don't mean to act like a mother hen.
You cannot help being a doctor, Watson. How is your house and medical practice in London?
They have been all mothballs and dust sheets since I left for France. To tell you the truth, Holmes, I have not been back there.
Goodbye, Watson.
Goodbye, Holmes.
Dr. John H. Watson. There are crumbs on his... He is wearing it. But clearly he has been writing also. Watson, wake up. I have noticed something about you, dear fellow. Did you enjoy your breakfast of buttered toast?
It was wonderful. Martha bakes such delicious bread. I have crumbs in my moustache, don't I?
One or two. What were you writing this morning?
You remember that business with Killer Evans in '02?
Rather vividly, yes. I recall that you were shot.
It was only a flesh wound, Holmes. Hardly left a scar. I am writing up the case as a story for publication. I know you are often dismissive of my literary efforts.
I do not say you're a poor writer, Watson. I simply wish you would not pander so much to popular taste.
Well, I would like to read you the draft this evening.
Very well, provided you will accept my honest critique.
Of course.
You planned to go for a walk along the cliffs, but changed your mind.
Holmes, you will never entirely convince me you cannot read minds.
There is no need to read minds when I can observe your boots.
I had planned to go for a walk, but I remembered the guillemots are fledging this time of year. They nest precariously on the cliffs, hundreds of feet above the ocean swell. The tiny fledglings' first flight always involves a terrible leap off the edge. Most of the time, they catch the knack of it before they hit the bottom. Most of the time. I didn't want to watch. I have seen too many young things die after being forced from the nest too soon.
I have no further deductions concerning Watson at the moment. Goodbye, Watson.
Goodbye, Holmes.
Martha has done an admirable job getting the acid stain out of the woodwork. A nefarious cat burglar, known for charming all those around her. A small part of my collection of portraits of celebrated criminals. I removed most of them on leaving Baker Street, but my room would not feel homely without one or two about the place. I keep notes to myself pinned here with a jackknife. Let me see. Throw away mould experiment under bed, dated to 3 weeks ago. I may need to add a new note reminding me to warn Martha before she tidies under the bed. There is nothing of use in there, I assure you. It is where I keep my unmentionables, and therefore entirely irrelevant to my mission. Let me see. There is old chemistry equipment, some pliers, some string. Aha! My lock-picking tools. These are always useful. This is not my entire laboratory, but a small selection which serves me well for most things. The microscope sees the most use. The skull of a gannet. It was a present from Miss Tilda. She found it on the beach. No, it must stay here. It was a present from Miss Tilda, and I wish to keep it. If my humble home has any faults, it is that it can become very cold in the winter. This device can be filled with embers from the fire and then used to heat the bed. I keep meaning to invest in a rubber hot water bottle instead. I would rather keep it there so I have it readily to hand this evening. I would rather leave it where it is. It is already a minor miracle that I remembered to hang it up rather than leaving it on the floor. My current favourite dressing gown. I've had quite a number over the years. Last October, I decided to challenge myself to paint a small painting, one each day throughout the month. I only completed 8 before I became distracted by another project. My word. For many years, this was a lumber room. I made it ready for Watson prior to his arrival by bringing out the few belongings of his I retained from our Baker Street days. Clearly, he has added to the nest the items he brought in his suitcase. Seeing all his personal effects here makes me feel as though I've stepped backwards through time. Let me see what Watson has been writing. Aha! It is one of his memoirs about my cases, the affair of Professor Presbury. I've said for many years that he should publish on that matter, if only to dispel some of the ugly rumours which echoed through London society some 20 years ago. Now, what does he say about me? He's always overly flattering. Rarely does he spare me any blushes. The relations between Holmes and I those latter days were peculiar. He was a man of habits, narrow and concentrated habits, and I had become one of them. Oh dear. As an institution, I was like the violin, the shag tobacco, the old black pipe, the index books, and others perhaps less excusable. His remarks could hardly be said to be made to me. Many of them would have been as appropriately addressed to his bedstead. Oh, Watson, I am sorry. I remember that day. I was convinced that it would be the end of all things. that with a beautiful young bride, Watson would forget the friend who he used to lodge with. It was nearly true. We did not see each other for a few months. It is only with the distance of years that I realize that was due to my own stubbornness. I much prefer this style of stethoscope to the sort that is more like a rigid tube. If I take it, Watson will wonder where it has gone. A Turkish hat made of red velvet. Watson believes it suits him. It does not. When did I begin to look so avuncular? No use. It is locked. Let us see if I still have the knack. The door is unlocked now. A two-handed medieval pole weapon. Why does my housekeeper have one? I find it prudent not to ask. A fine wig made of real human hair. Martha has several. Martha stitched this herself. My eyesight is rather poor. Let me see if I can read the motto. Ha! How droll. It is rather rude. I would not dream of sharing it in polite society. A very fine collection of pipes, equal to my own. Take one of her pipes? That would not go well for me, I think. Let me see now. My eyes are quite weak, but I can make out the writing. It is the alphabet. How charming. I was bored.
What do you want?
What do you think of Fulworth?
It's a fine place. Very quiet. The kind of place where folks leave a man alone. Goodbye.
Such impeccable manners. A gentleman indeed. Oh, you're a good boy.
Woof, woof. Well, naturally. And I think you're a good human master. Especially when you give me bones. It's a pity that for all your intelligence, you can't understand me.
That's enough talk for now, doggy.
Very well, master.
Those 2 points are related. I feel there is more to this matter, however. The rat has been described as abnormally large. The cat's aptitude for catching vermin may explain its interest, but not the presence of such a strange creature in Fulworth. I think I should retain both of these pieces of information for future use. I fail to see what deductions I can make from those facts. The window is locked, but the mechanism is a simple one. Oh, I could make quick work of it with the right tools and with good enough reason. My eyesight is not what it was, but that white blur could be a cat. A fat rat. Where would you like me to use my tools? No, this is really very sloppy. Certainly I could break in there, retrieve the cat, and consider the case closed. Yet I feel that I do not yet know the full facts of the situation. So I may miss vital clues pertaining to a larger mystery beneath the obvious. I feel that I should do this later, once I've made further deductions. There are rats inside the house, and an especially large rat was discovered outside the house. Is there a connection between the two? At the moment, I'm not certain. I will retain both pieces of information. And there we have our motive. The house has an infestation of rats. The mysterious man knew that next door to his temporary abode was an animal who could remedy the situation. After his attempt to buy the cat failed, he stole it. But what is there inside the house which is proving to be such a delightful feast for the rats? No, I do not think that connection will help. I fail to see what deductions I can make from those facts. No. Yet I feel... well, if there is a butterfly up there, I'll take your word for it. I would have struggled to see a butterfly in a tree that distance away, even as a young man. It looks like there may be documents inside, but I cannot see properly from here. No response.
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, hell.
Tut! Such language! Someone has been gardening. The earth is disturbed all along the front of the house.
Mr. Holmes, my boy is very upset with you.
We had a misunderstanding. I will make it right. Could I ask you about your missing cat?
What about the cat, Mr. Holmes?
Sanjay has informed me that she is missing, and I intend to find her. Could you describe the cat to me?
She is a small cat, completely white. We've had her 5 years now, and I have never known her miss a single meal. It is a worry.
I hear the cat found a strange rat.
Yes, indeed. Dragged it in here. A huge, ugly thing, almost as big as her. It must have been dead some time. It was stiff, its eyes glassy. It shed hair everywhere. I had to go round and sweep it all up. Horrible.
That is all I need to know about the cat. Goodbye, Mrs. Kumar. Now then, Toby, I would be much obliged if you could turn the attention of your prodigious nose to this scrap of fur. Are you able to lead me in the direction of the animal this is from?
Thing to smell? Thing to smell? Let me see now. Yes, I have the scent. View halloo! The hunt is on. Halloo! Halloo! This is the spot, Master. I can smell it here.
When presented with the hair from the rat, Toby picked out this area of disturbed earth. I believe a naturalist would identify that it is not a species native to England. It has been taxidermized. The eyes are glass, and there is a place here where the skin is broken, revealing the wood wool inside. I will take this with me. A large taxidermied rodent. An exotic creature not native to these isles.
I'm not interested in that.
Amusing, but no. From the size and style, I would suggest they belong to a boy of around 14 or 15. I expect he is an active fellow who spends many hours running through the muddy fields to the north of the village. Swift of foot, but clumsy with his hands. His lace tying is rather slapdash. Let whoever put them here carry them away. I will not. Harold Stackhurst, the headmaster of the Gables, and my immediate neighbour. Affable fellow, we became fast friends when I moved here. He has been carrying that battered newspaper around for a while, looking for a peaceful spot to read it.
Hello, Holmes. Bracing day, isn't it?
What's happening here on the beach?
That young lady over there is claiming to have discovered some 8th wonder of the world. A real-life mermaid. Absolute humbug, of course, but she's making a mint out of it. Don't suppose you could see your way to getting rid of her? Jolly unfair, her tricking people out of their money and disturbing the peace.
Don't worry, my friend. I intend to. I wish the view of this beach to be unobstructed. Anything interesting in the newspaper?
I'll say. Did you know there has been a heist over at the British Museum? Listen to this. A number of valuable specimens of taxidermy belonging to the British Museum still remain missing, a week after disappearing during their transfer from Montague House, Bloomsbury, to the new site in South Kensington. Lost treasures include a great many pieces collected by the late Charles Darwin, and the only surviving specimen of the great auk from the British Isles. director of the museum, William Henry Flower, states that... well, you get the idea.
Indeed I do. I expect that Scotland Yard are having quite the time sorting out the mess.
Do you ever miss being involved in that sort of thing?
No, not often. I do not mean to say that I regret my work as a detective. Indeed not. They were good years. I cannot say that I miss them, though. It was getting difficult towards the end. It is a young man's game, running around at all hours. And dare I say it, I am happier here. Watson too, I think. He does not have to worry about me so much, at least.
So, if you were on the case, where would you look to find the stolen animals?
A collection of rare and very distinct specimens of natural history are certainly valuable, but only to a limited and specialist clientele. I expect the thief will have found somewhere to store the collection until the police have lost their scent, and they're able to find multiple buyers to ensure the collection is split up. Would you like to come over for dinner? You know my friend Watson is staying with me. Drop in on us when you have time, won't you?
Of course, old man. I have a wild idea for an excursion we could undertake next week.
Oh?
The Picture Palace in Eastbourne is showing a film, Trent's Last Case. A mystery. What do you say? Could be a bit of a wheeze, what?
Watson would appreciate it. And I expect he will urge me to come along as well.
I know you too well, my friend. That is your way of saying that you would like to come just as much.
How is the Gables?
Oh, jolly good. Of course, the boys are all home for the summer at the moment, so it's all planning. I have doubts about the new English master I hired. He's entirely green around the gills. Still, we were all young once, what?
You haven't thought of retiring?
No, I live to teach. Whatever would I do if I retired?
Why do you wear a monocle? I've always wondered, since you clearly have perfect eyesight.
I feel it gives me a sense of authority. If you wear a monocle, people assume you must be someone important.
Goodbye, Stackhurst.
Goodbye, old man. Give my regards to the doctor.
Miss Hunter? How are you, Miss Hunter?
I'm well, Mr. Holmes. Catching up on all the little jobs which I'm not able to undertake during term time.
The new school in Chichester is proving to be all-absorbing, then.
Rather. I'm afraid the last head did not run a tight ship. I've no wonder they had to call me in. The girls are all little monsters, and the mistresses not much better.
Sounds ghastly.
Oh, don't mistake me. I'm rather enjoying the challenge. For the next 4 weeks, however, I will relish spending time by myself.
Miss Hunter, can you tell me more about Tilda's mother and father?
I suppose so. What do you want to know?
How did your sister die?
It was a fever, Mr. Holmes. She was always such a strong, healthy person, but it took her very quickly. It may sound overly dramatic, but I believe that her heart was broken.
What was your sister like?
Oh, she was wonderful, Mr. Holmes. She could make me laugh for hours and hours. She struggled terribly at school with her reading and writing. even though she was very intelligent. It left her with few options for earning a living after our parents died. You will recall, I was very desperate for a good salary when we first met. It was in the knowledge that I had to support her.
What was your sister's husband like?
He was the genuine life and soul of every party he ever attended. Such a happy, vivacious soul. When he used to visit on leave from the army, I could see it was beginning to change him. Then again, it changed us all, didn't it?
What happened to your sister's husband?
He was killed in action. We received a telegram.
Thank you. I have no more questions. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
That clown's face is familiar to me. Surely it is the man in the photograph. He is Miss Tilda's father.
Hello, hello.
You were at the front in the war, I see.
Oh? No. Ruffles the Clown doesn't know about such things. I tell you, would you like to see me trip over into a custard tart?
Not particularly. It is unusual for a clown to wear an eye patch.
Clowns wear all kinds of silly things. Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
And who might you be?
Ruffles the Clown, at your service. Honk, honk. Sorry for having to say honk honk. I used to have a little horn, but I've lost it. So now I just say honk honk in a cheerful sort of way. Honk honk.
I see. I am Mr. Holmes, a beekeeper. Do you need me to find your horn for you?
What? No, why the dickens would I want to send a stranger off to find something I've lost? Seems a bit impolite. Besides, I know where it is.
I thought you said you'd lost it.
I lost it in a game of cards in Newcastle.
Ah. Your name is Raffles, like the famous cricketer A.J. Raffles?
No. Ruffles. Like material gathered along one edge to make an ornamental frill.
Oh, I see. I wondered if you were a relative.
You know A.J. Raffles? Oh, he was a bit of a hero of mine when I was a lad.
Our vocations meant that we moved in the same circles. How goes your clowning?
Very well, thank you, sir.
I believe you are the father of a little girl.
A little girl? No, not I. Ruffles the Clown loves all children, but he doesn't have one of his own.
He refuses to acknowledge it, or is unable. Perhaps if presented with some more concrete evidence. Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir.
Miss Hunter? Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
Miss Hunter, may I take this photograph? It is for a very good cause, and it will be returned unharmed.
To anyone else, Mr. Holmes, I would say no. You, however, have earned my trust. You may take it.
out. This is... Where did you get this?
You are the soldier in the photograph, I believe.
Yes. And the woman is my wife, Jane. And the little girl, my daughter, Matilda. I thought this was lost.
I perceive that you were invalided out of the war.
Yes. An explosion. The first thing I knew of it was waking up in the German field hospital at Valenciennes, unable to see. When I gone, found the others with a damaged cornea. The doctors and nurses there were skilled and attentive. They saved my other eye. Unfortunately, when the bandages were removed, I was disturbed by what I saw, especially in the mirror. My body was, I suppose, altered is the euphemism.
Your injuries do not seem so bad.
With all due respect, sir, I do not think you would say so if they were your own injuries. I had my disfigurements well, but I can assure you that they are extensive and severe. Besides, my face and my body do not feel like my own anymore. That is disturbing in itself.
Quite. I apologize. What happened to your family?
I was a prisoner of war for a time before being sent back to England. I discovered that I had been labelled missing in action before formally being presumed to be dead. I rushed back to our little cottage. I expected to embrace Jane at the door and for everything to be set right. Foolish, I suppose.
Perhaps. But it is a sentiment I understand all too well. She was not there?
No. The house was empty. I asked neighbours and they told me she had died and that my daughter had been taken away to live with my wife's sister, Miss Violet Hunter. I thought myself damaged before. But with that news, I fell apart utterly.
You did not go to visit Miss Hunter to let her know that you lived?
No, Mr. Holmes, I was... unwell. It was shameful. I thought that little Tilda would be better with a heroic memory for a father than a broken half-man.
Why did you become a clown?
Firstly, because becoming someone else has helped me to recover. Raffles the clown isn't a widower. He has never seen war or known grief. When I become him, I set all that aside for a time and gain back the joy and wonder of childhood. Secondly, it is a way for me to help others by bringing them joy. When I can make someone laugh and forget their troubles for a time, I think it is worth being here.
I know your daughter.
You know Matilda?
Yes. She lives here in the village with her Aunt Violet. She is a bright girl and a budding naturalist.
She is happy? And loved?
Certainly.
I don't know what to do. It is wonderful to know she is well, but would she be better off with me in her life? I let her think I was dead all these years.
I think you should tell her. It would mean a great deal for her to have you back in her life.
What if she cannot forgive me for letting her think I was dead all these years? What if she thinks I am a bad father?
Then at least you have given her the ability to make that choice. Speaking as someone with extensive experience of human nature, and Miss Tilda in particular, I think she will both forgive you and love you as you are.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Where can I find her?
Miss Violet Hunter's house is just off the market square. Miss Tilda you may find anywhere where there are interesting creatures to be studied.
I'll go to her after my performance. A little girl. My little girl. May I keep the photograph?
Under the circumstances, perhaps you should. Would Would you like me to teach you how I harvest honey?
Yes, please, Mr. Holmes. I want to be a beekeeper when I grow up.
I thought you wanted to be a fisherman when you grow up.
That was last week.
Very well. First, I put on my protective hat and gloves. The bees are not generally aggressive, but I wish to avoid direct contact with them. Then I use a smoker to make the bees calm, only a little. I do not wish to cause them distress. Inside the hives, there are wooden frames that hold the honeycombs, where the bees store their honey. When I see that a frame is full, I remove it from the hive. I scrape away the protective wax which the bees have made. I then place the frame in my extractor. This spins the frame and causes the honey to fall away. I can then filter the honey and put it in jars or bottles, ready to be...
Yummy.
May I have that jam jar?
Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I need the jam jar. It's very, very important. When I catch a newt, I need to put it in there so I can take it home to the tank where it's going to live.
I see. That is important. I would not want to deprive you of your newt. If I were to find you some kind of specimen of natural history which is more interesting than a newt, would you surrender the jam jar to me?
Better than a newt? That sounds very tricky.
I enjoy a challenge.
You're on.
I see you spent the morning in the North Meadow.
Yes, I made a flower crown, and there's a badger set there. I want to go back after dark and wait to see them come out. But Auntie won't let me on my own.
Perhaps you would permit me to take you, if you do not object to the presence of an old man who's not quite as adept at crouching in the dark for hours as he used to be.
Well, that would be wonderful, Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes?
Yes, Miss Tilda.
Are you magic?
No. As I think we have discussed before, I simply make deductions based on observations.
I don't know. I still think you might be magic.
You have been neglecting your piano practice. Someone who practices the piano daily develops a very distinctive musculature in their hands, which you do not have.
I don't like playing the smelly old piano. I want to study plants and animals when I grow up, not be a musician.
I felt the same way as a boy. All the same, it is good to be able to play an instrument. I think you will be pleased if you persevere. Tilda, do you remember your parents?
Not much. I was little when they died.
Yes, I quite understand.
Are you an orphan like me, Mr. Holmes?
In a sense, my parents have both died.
So don't you have any family at all?
I have an older brother. He lives in London.
I wish I had a big brother.
But Tilda, you have your Aunt Violet. She loves you dearly. It is also possible to make family of your own choosing. Dr. Watson and I are not related by blood, but we have been as close as two people can be for many decades.
Then, may I choose you to be in my family?
You may, if you wish. What do you make of this, Miss Tilda?
Is that a nutria? It's a nutria! The nutria is my absolute favourite large herbivorous semi-aquatic South American rodent.
You may consider it to be yours.
Mr. Holmes, thank you. Thank you! This is the nicest present anyone has ever given me.
May I have the jam jar now?
Of course, Mr. Holmes. I don't need it now.
What are you doing?
I'm catching newts.
Naturally. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
As per our bargain, you will permit me to take this jam jar?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. I can go newt fishing another time.
Our highest assurance of the goodness of Providence seems to me to rest in the flowers. All other things, our powers, our desires, our food, are all really necessary for our existence in the first instance. But this rose is an extra. Its smell and its colour are an embellishment of life, not a condition of it. It is only goodness which gives extras. And so I say again that we have much to hope from the flowers. Goodbye, Sanjay.
Goodbye.
No, I do not think that connection will help. No, I do not think that connection will help. Now the picture becomes clearer. The presence of the specimen buried in front of Mrs. Kumar's house confirms that the stolen taxidermy collection is nearby. Unfortunately, our criminal's plan to keep the specimens safely stored until he was able to sell them was foiled by the infestation of rats. He did not want to leave the house to search for a solution to the problem, not while the police are on high alert. So he took the cat, hoping it would drive the rats away. I feel it is time I retrieve the cat on behalf of my client. Could it be that the cat discovered one of the taxidermy specimens which was stolen from the museum? I would only know for certain if I could locate the remains of the animal. Goodbye, Sanjay.
Goodbye.
Now, let us see about picking this lock.
Hey, what's that?
I think before I try that again, I will need to engineer some kind of distraction. It is the sort of thing in years past I would have used Watson for. I have need of your assistance.
Me? You want me to help you? Me? Help? You? Help?
That is the general idea.
Like the street urchins you used to get to help you. Does that make me... Am I a Baker Street irregular? I've wanted to be a Baker Street irregular my whole entire life. But I heard they were a pretty exclusive bunch.
We're not on Baker Street.
Aww.
So I think that makes you something even more rare. The leader of a new division. The Fulworth Peculiars, perhaps.
Oh, can I be a peculiar too?
Naturally. However, I think that Sanjay must be the leader. Now, on to business. Sanjay, I need you to provide a distraction while I break into your neighbour's house to rescue Kalu.
You mean you're so nefarious, you've been forced to operate outside of the law?
I will understand if you want no part of it.
You can trust me, Mr. Holmes.
Then let us be off.
What do you want?
Good morning, sir. Do you know how to escape from a locked room which doesn't have a carpet if a key has been left in the lock?
I beg your pardon?
You only need a newspaper or something similar and some stiff wire. You see, what you do is you slide the newspaper underneath the door and then you put the wire in the keyhole.
Why are you telling me this?
I thought you might find it interesting. Useful, even. As a master criminal.
What did you just call me?
A master criminal. It's obvious you are one. I deduced it. Now, do you want to hear about how to escape a locked room? Honestly, you'll find it ever so interesting.
Go on then.
All right. So what you do is... Of course, bank holidays are the best day to try to rob a bank because...
Let us see what we can find. Another fat rat. Another fat rat. Come here, good pusscat. Now, would you mind hopping in my pocket? There's a good girl. Now, let us see what we have here. There is a list of taxidermized animals which have been stolen. Includes a nutria and... Interesting. A chimpanzee. I think I will take these papers with me. They may be useful. I think I will take these papers with me. They may be useful. I believe I have everything I need. Let me see if I can make my exit as elegantly as I got in here.
Woof, woof, woof. Ah, woof, woof.
Hush, Toby. You'll scare the poor creature.
No fear. Kaloo is a vicious little beast when she wants to be.
The papers I collected revealed that one of the missing specimens was a monkey, and Professor Rishi's mermaid has quite distinctly simian features. The suspicious provenance becomes clear. I fail to see what deductions I can make from those facts. These documents give details of all the buyers of the stolen taxidermy collection.
What's this then?
It is a selection of documents concerning the theft of a valuable taxidermy collection from the British Museum.
Mr. Holmes, where did you obtain these?
Oh, isn't it a fine day? So bracing. I do love the beach.
Mr. Holmes, I should warn you.
You have the documents. I relinquish all claim on them. No doubt an ambitious man such as yourself would find solving a case which seems to have baffled even Scotland Yard useful to his career?
Well, yes.
Then let us set aside their provenance for the moment. I will simply say that you may wish to pay a probing call on Mrs. Kumar's neighbour later today. He must be a keen naturalist. He has a most fascinating menagerie in his cottage. I would also draw your attention to one of the names on the list, a Miss Pippi Ricci.
What? Right then, she's nicked. Miss Miss, you just come along to the station and explain this document to me.
What?
I expect the young lady will be released in short order. There is little proof that she knew the monkey was stolen when she bought it. Indeed, I believe that she did not. In the meantime, however, the beach is perfectly tranquil. The view from the cliff tops will be pristine. The only sounds will be the gulls and the ocean. It seems that the grotesque creature was left behind. An ugly creation. The top half seems like that of a monkey, while the tail has real fish scales sewn into it. Here is your cat, Sanjay.
Hello. Oh, you rescued her. I knew you could do it, Mr. Holmes.
Think nothing of it. Recovering her gave me a most diverting afternoon. Now, could you please inform your mother that I've thoroughly made amends?
Of course.
She seems quite content. Thank you for your assistance. Goodbye, Sanjay.
Goodbye.
Good day, Mrs. Kumar.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes.
I have made things up with Sanjay. Now, about that cordial.
Ah, very well, Mr. Holmes. I apologize for being so short with you earlier. Sanjay is a bright, sensitive boy, and I do not like to see him upset.
I understand he has trouble from the other boys at school.
Yes. They know that he is shy and a little unusual in his interests, so they make nasty jokes about him. He does not have a single friend.
A lamentable situation, but not the whole truth, I feel. He is very close friends with Miss Tilda.
But they never talk.
That is how it is with some friendships. They might not talk, but they stay close to one another while they go about their favourite pastimes.
I see. That is a comforting thought. Here, Mr. Holmes, have this elderflower cordial with my compliments.
Thank you, Mrs. Kumar. Goodbye, Mrs. Kumar.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
I have nothing more of relevance to tell you. wow, Mrs. Whitlock. The finest honey in the county. Now, how long until the judging? I am rather anxious to receive the hamper of picnic food.
Oh dear, Mr. Holmes. I'm afraid everything has gone wrong. Mrs. Duffy has been kidnapped.
Ah,
What do you mean, ah? A woman has been kidnapped. You are Sherlock Holmes, aren't you? You must help her. It is your patriotic duty. For king. For country. For detective fiction.
I suppose I'd better see what I can do. What makes you believe that Mrs. Duffy has been kidnapped?
I was just talking to Mrs. Barry. Then I turned round, and this note was pinned to a prize marrow.
Mrs. Duffy is unable to attend judging the fete today. Apologies. She could not attend and sent her apologies. What is so strange about that?
But why can she not attend? Judging our fate is such a treat. If she is ill or indisposed, why deliver her message in such a strange way? Who placed the note there?
Well, I admit that there may be some points of interest in the matter. When did you see Mrs. Duffy last?
I haven't seen her at all. I don't even know what she looks like.
What will you do if Mrs. Duffy does not come back?
I'm not certain. I suppose I'd have to find some other person of note to judge the fate instead.
If the need is dire, I suppose I could step in. My fame is not what it was, but I was quite notable in my time, thanks to the illumination of my biographer.
Oh, would you, Mr. Holmes? Of course, if you are the judge, you'll have to retract your entry from the honey competition.
What? But I am able to be objective about the situation. I will award the prize to the best honey, be it my own or someone else's.
I'm sure, Mr. Holmes. However, paragraph 8, subsection D of the fate rules makes this very clear. The judge cannot enter the competition.
I suppose I would simply have to hope I can find Mrs. Drusilla Duffy then. My friend, Dr. Watson, could judge your fate. He is a best-selling writer and a celebrity in his own right. And if he is judge, I can enter my honey and win the picnic hamper.
I'm afraid not, Mr. Holmes. Paragraph 8, subsection E of the fate rules says that the judge's household cannot enter either.
Household? He's only staying with me temporarily. At least that seems to be his plan. I have hopes. Very well, then, I will find another solution. Any news about Mrs. Duffy?
No, Mr. Holmes. Not a peep.
Goodbye, Mrs. Whitlock. It seems that Drusilla Duffy, the mystery writer, is in disguise as a humble flower seller, for reasons unknown.
Flowers! Lovely flowers!
Miss Duffy, I believe.
What? No. I'm Rose. Rose Smith, the flower seller.
You are Miss Duffy, the writer of popular fiction.
Oh, I say that's very clever of you. However, did you know?
It is all too plain, I'm afraid. Your makeup is rather slapdash, your wig is slipping, and your accent a poor approximation of Cockney. You must remember to drop your H. It is a nice place here, for example. You borrowed clothing and theatrical makeup from the clown, I presume.
Bravo. Sherlock Holmes himself couldn't have done better.
Oh, my blushes. That is high praise indeed. What I am less certain about is your motive for such an action.
Oh, I'm researching for my next novel. In it, my detective, Caspar Hassler, is assisted by a Cockney flower girl. I'm just getting into character.
Could you perhaps continue your research after judging the fate? You see, it is very important to me that I win the honey competition, and while you are here, the judging cannot take place.
I'm sorry. You'll have to find someone else.
Are you certain you can't judge the fate?
No, I'm sorry. I need to continue my research.
I think she is entirely determined. I must find another judge somehow. Or create one, perhaps. Goodbye. Miss Hunter, goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
She is a handsome middle-aged woman whose round, freckled face retains the brightness of youth. Her eyes speak of a quiet, understated intelligence. She wears a slightly severe pinstripe jacket and skirt. Good day, Mrs. Kumar.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes.
May I buy some fabric from you?
What colour would you like, and what length?
Fabric for a lady's dress. What colour is fashionable for an older lady?
Red is quite popular this season.
Then I shall have red.
Here you are, sir.
A thick red cotton. I do not want to damage Mrs. Kumar's washing.
Hello, Holmes. Bracing day, isn't it?
Could I borrow your monocle for the afternoon, my dear fellow?
Whatever for?
Suppose if I were to say that it's for some amateur dramatics, you would not believe me.
No, I would not. I think it is for mischief. You may not have the one I am wearing, but I do carry a spare. Here, Holmes. Don't lose it, please.
Good fellow. Goodbye, Stackhurst.
Goodbye, old man. Give my regards to the doctor.
This is not a complete costume yet. A very fine wig. It is made of real human hair. That does not make sense. No.
Mr. Holmes, I'm very upset with you. Don't think I don't know that you broke into my room and stole something. And here I thought you were a gentleman. Oh, for shame, Mr. Holmes.
Oh dear. I will have to find some way to make amends. Miss Hunter, I'm afraid I must beg your assistance in a desperate matter.
Of course, Mr. Holmes. How can I help?
The judge of the village fete, Drusilla Duffy, has shirked her duty. Without her, the competition cannot go ahead. It is absolutely vital that it does. I have known you many years. You have been a capable ally in the past. Can I rely on you to use this cloth and your wit to aid me in creating a new Drusilla Duffy?
Of course, Mr. Holmes. It sounds rather fun to be a famous mystery writer for an hour or two. It looks rather good. Very elegant.
Oh, my blushes. You think so? I will combine it with the wig I acquired earlier to make a complete disguise.
You may borrow an old straw hat of mine, too, if you wish.
I know this will disappoint you greatly, but I only intend to wear this disguise at the village fete itself. I will get changed while I'm here. One moment, please. I believe that not even Watson would recognize me dressed like this.
Do excuse me. I sent my apologies earlier. However, I am now available to judge your competition.
Oh, you mean to say you are...
Mrs. Drusilla Duffy, indeed.
May I just say, I am dearly fond of your Caspar Hassel books. I especially love 5 Deaths in a Balloon.
Indeed. That was certainly one of my more improbable entries in the series.
Perhaps. But I just love the part with all the otters. Here, let me show you the entries you need to judge.
As I suspected, my honey is by far the best, and so I can award it first place without compromising myself.
Mr. Holmes will be pleased. I will have to give him his picnic hamper when I see him next. And I have this lovely bouquet as a thank you for you, Miss Duffy. I wonder... I write mystery stories myself. Would you care to have a look at them?
Certainly. You must send them to my secretary. You have the details, correct?
Yes. Thank you so much. And thank you once again for judging the fete.
Excuse me a moment. Mrs. Duffy? Forgive me, but I am a great admirer of your work. I wondered if you might sign my copy of one of your Caspar Hassler mysteries?
Of course. To what name should I sign?
Dr. John Watson, if you please. Thank you so much.
Dr. Watson? Could it be that you are the writer of the Sherlock Holmes stories?
Indeed, I am. How nice to know I am known by such a fine writer as yourself.
Are you and Mr. Holmes still close? Some of your stories made me concerned that you had grown apart.
I believe our bond is as strong as ever. It is simply that our paths have taken us in different directions in recent years. I remained a busy doctor, while Holmes has undergone a quiet metamorphosis. The fruition of a process which I believe began many years ago on a mountain in Tibet.
A metamorphosis, you say? Is he greatly changed?
Yes, he is. My readers would like to think of him forever bounding through London streets like a spaniel, lusting after the stimulation of the chase. Sometimes I do miss that young fellow. However, I have come to see that as an awkward, chrysalid stage of his life. Sometimes I feared he would not survive it. What emerged from that cocoon is a different kind of man. He has one foot beyond some veil, and a kind of peace has settled on him. He is content. Sherlock Holmes. Content. It is a beautiful thing.
I see. Do you live in the area, Dr. Watson?
Presently, I am only a visitor. However, I have been considering making a move.
You are?
Yes. I feel I have seen too much war and death. It is about time I took up my ease. It is really only a question of logistics, practical arrangements, finding a home, not wishing to intrude on another's solitude.
Oh. I adore your writing, Doctor.
That is high praise coming from such a renowned writer. Surely, you do my little sketches too much credit.
Absolutely not, sir. People will be reading your stories a century from now. I know that there are some who say that mysteries are not high art. We must ignore them. We bring moments of joy and escape into the lives of our readers. What could be more important? Goodbye, Dr. Watson. I'm afraid I must be going.
Goodbye, Mrs. Duffy.
Oh, Watson. Oh. I suppose I should return to my usual self.
So good to see our local celebrity here in the village.
I have come to collect my prize. I won the competition for the best honey, I see.
You did, Mr. Holmes. What a shame you missed Miss Duffy. Here is your prize, this lovely picnic hamper.
Goodbye, Mrs. Whitlock.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
A lovely bouquet of fragrant flowers. A picnic hamper, brimming with good food. A gold-rimmed monocle. I have nothing more of relevance to tell you. An ugly creation. The top half seems like that of a monkey, while the tail has real fish scales sewn into it. There is no honey left on the tray. I could return this to the hive now. I have nothing more of relevance to tell you. Would you like this flower, Mrs. Whitlock?
Oh, that is sweet. However, page 13, paragraph 3, subsection B of the Fate Rules says that as Fate organizer, I cannot accept gifts. I'm sorry, but only the designated musicians are permitted to play within the village Fate area.
there is no more honey in the tray. I should put my protective clothing on before making any kind of inspection of the hives. I will put this back in the hive. There you are, my friends. Watson, wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me think. Am I ready to spring my surprise on Watson? I have a surprise for you.
A surprise?
Yes, one worth waking up for, I assure you. Follow me. Here we are, Watson. The perfect spot for a picnic, wouldn't you say? The swooping vistas, the tang of sea salt in the air.
The view certainly is breathtaking. You are so fortunate to have this on your doorstep. It makes one never want to see London again.
After so long here alone, I've almost forgotten my fortune. When one has experienced a thing many times, a receptive companion works wonders to rekindle the enjoyment. That is your greatest gift, my dear fellow. It always was. I worked many cases alone, but it is the ones where you accompanied me that are the most treasured in my memory.
Thank you, Holmes.
Now let us see what we have in this hamper. Egg and cress sandwiches, various jams and preserves, a meat pie or two, and a rather fine pound cake.
How delicious.
Here is some elderflower cordial. I know it is a favourite of yours. I propose a toast to new beginnings, to sublime joy, to the tenacity of hope.
I will drink to all those things, Holmes.
And to you, dear fellow. I'm so very pleased you came here.
It is precisely the rest cure I needed. I actually have a confession to make.
Oh?
I knew you were set upon mischief today, and so I followed you and observed your actions at a distance. It was not deliberate. I intended to make myself fully known to you, but it became obvious that you had some secret plan, and, well, I was curious. I am sorry, dear fellow.
You followed me. I did not see you.
You taught me that when you are covertly following someone, that is precisely what the person should see.
Every time I returned to my house, you were there, asleep.
I am no actor, but even I can feign being asleep, Holmes.
Watson, you are extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary.
Oh, look at that gentleman with the little girl. The one I was surprised to see you hold so much avuncular feeling for. Father and daughter?
Yes, there is no mistaking it. They are a perfectly matched pair. I must take you to meet her. She is a sweet little thing and very intelligent.
I would like that. It was good of you to enlist the help of that little fellow Sanjay in that caper with the stolen taxidermy specimens, especially after you hurt his feelings so.
You talked to him, didn't you? He was terribly upset with me, and then I was suddenly quite forgiven. I put it down to the caprice of youth, but it was you, wasn't it?
Yes. I overheard you talking to the boy and saw his reaction. Later, after you had left, I introduced myself to him. He was rather overawed. I informed him that you did not mean to upset him, and when he told me of the problem with his cat, I told him that I was certain you would find it if asked to help. I'm pleased you proved me right. I saw that you gave the police the evidence required to arrest that young lady, Miss Ricci. It seemed a shame. Such an intelligent, spirited girl.
Oh, she will certainly wiggle out of it. Perhaps the attention from the police will prompt her to use her gift of the gab for better purposes.
Why have you done all this, Holmes? The picnic, I mean. You do not act without specific reason.
There is something I wanted to tell you. English is such a limited language in this department. The Greeks had superior understanding. I've heard there are 7 words in ancient Greek for love. Eros, that passionate, romantic love of the style you and your wife were blessed with, has never interested me. But philia, friendship, supreme affection between 2 equals, that has been a wonderful gift bestowed by you upon me.
A gift we have shared, Holmes. Surely. There have been times when I have caught a glimpse of your great heart as well as your great brain, you know. But to hear you actually say it? An unexpected treasure. Worth waiting 40 years for. Thank you.
Yet I have mistreated you terribly, Watson. I have withheld truths, even when it caused you pain.
That is true. There were 3 long years when I thought you were dead. I grieved for you. Yet you were alive. The wound healed long ago, but the scar tissue will always remain.
Why have you taken me on as a burden when I have mistreated you so?
You do not know the answer to that.
Tell me.
Oh, no. I will make you deduce it. But let me give you more data. Why did you take me on as a burden?
You are not a burden.
Of course I am. I am not a genius, therefore always one step behind you in matters of the mind. I frequently suffer from my war wounds, so I am slow and must be left behind. I have left you to get married and embroil myself in the kind of domesticity you do not care for. I'm sure there have been times I have frustrated you in our years of association.
Oh, that is nothing. That is like looking at sea foam and calling it an ocean. The traits you mention are precisely those I value so highly in you. Your receptive mind gives me clarity. Your determination in the face of pain and injury gives me courage. Your romanticism and caring nature are entirely charming.
So, you would say that sometimes the things we find most difficult about a person are also an aspect of the things we love most about them.
I am a fool.
No, Holmes. You are fallible. Thank heavens for that.
What will you do now?
Well, medicine is galloping on apace and leaving me behind. I shall rusticate to a place in the country. Do you have any suggestions of an appropriate location? Holmes, you are trembling.
Oh, confound snakes and air guns and waterfalls and maddening poisons. This is fear.
Whatever are you afraid of?
You have artfully opened the way for me to ask you to stay here. For this to be your home as much as mine. But I'm afraid I will treat you badly. We will quarrel terribly, and then I will lose you again.
Of course we will quarrel. You think that 2 caring people whose lives are caught up together never get thoroughly sick of each other? When we do, we shall see it through together. I think there will be no more partings. Except the one brought about by Death himself. And I think even he may have a hard time of it.
You promise it, Watson?
Yes. I promise it.
Then I shall promise too. No more parting.